Our new collection, Net Effect, takes its inspiration from the ocean. And at first glance, the ocean, of course, in its power and beauty, is something that everyone could be inspired by. Just the sheer color and movement is something that we find interesting and have incorporated into Net Effect. At Interface, we make squares and rectangles. And seemingly from a design vocabulary, that may seem limiting, but those constraints actually foster tremendous creativity. What the product is made of, where it comes from, where raw materials are sourced. Those are the sorts of things that are way outside of that square. And more often than not, we end up with solutions that our customers are consistently inspired by. The Net Effect collection has two different shapes of modular tile in it. One is squares and the other is planks. There are three gradations, not unlike the ocean itself, of a foundation, a transition, and then a texture, not unlike the surf as it hits the sand. A building of textural differential. So those two things can be used by themselves or used together to create a brand new vocabulary which has never been seen on the floor. Design at Interface is exciting. It's hopeful. At the same time that we're inspired by the beauty of the ocean and the power of the ocean, we're also inspired by what we can do to help the ocean.
At Interface, we think of design as being bigger than just the product that you physically see. It's actually about designing the whole system that will help create that product.
We took the initiative to try to create closed-loop manufacturing process, bring waste nylon into not only that product, but all of our products.
Manufacturing was traditionally take, make, waste. So a linear process. You take something out of the ground, you make it into a product, and then you dispose of it. So closed-loop manufacturing is really just about trying to turn that line into a circle and saying whatever you take out of the ground and turn into a product needs to go back into another product.
Networks is a community-based supply chain for discarded fishing nets. So the idea is to collect discarded fishing nets off the beaches or get them from fishers as soon as they have finished using them so they don't throw them into the sea or just discard them on the beaches. And do it in such a way that the local communities benefit as much as possible.
When we first started exploring this, we started saying, okay, how can a carpet tile do the most good in the world? So how can we put a social lens on this net collection? By buying a carpet tile, you are directly connected to a family miles and miles away from you. And that's kind of interesting, that connection.
Ang network project nakatabang jud sa among barangay, labi na gid sa akong kaugalingon. Dili lang sa nakalimpyo mi sa baybayon, nakasapi mi, and then nakahimo mi og kayuhan sa among barangay. Pinaagi sa amo ang paghiusa.
Pagpa-eskwela ko ang mga anak, makahatag ko nila mga baon, usapod og dunay paletonon nga importanteng bayron sa eskwelahan. Makakuha dayon ko ginagmayng kwarta, dali makabayad dayon ko sa may aron nga aging tuig nga.
You're talking here of people who have average 5 children, and you're talking of income that are obtained on a daily basis. So people here would really be badly hit when the season is not good for fishing. This project is really something that directly addresses these social issues.
We're helping them retrieve it, aggregate it, and give it to our yarn vendor. They're paid for that, and that's a cycle that will continue.
The product is still our product, beautiful carpet tile. It will look the same, but there'll be this story behind the material.
What's critical in trying to achieve something that is significant in the world, at the same time you're trying to create product, it requires, quite honestly, opening your arms wide and bringing in non-traditional partners. We are great designers of carpet tile systems, but we don't know everything there is to know to change things that we are trying to change. So we brought in some partners on networks. Project Seahorse, the Zoological Society of London, Aquafil. Those are the kinds of partners that we need to solve the kind of problems that we're trying to design for. Can't do it yourself.
So when you start something new that has not been tried in other places before, you need to do it in an area where you have the right support systems, you have the right contacts, you have the right partners, and of course you have the right mix of local communities.
Aquafil is a producer of nylon, and they're a great partner of ours and have been for quite a number of years and are an example of the kind of partner who comes to the table and may not know exactly how to participate, but raises their hand and said, we absolutely do.
According to Aquafil vision, the main problem of the future is water. To keep the ocean clean is a real important thing that we have to realize. Fish nets are one of the most important stream of waste that is polluting the sea. So what we are doing is good not only from a social standpoint, but very important also from an environmental point of view.
Aquafil have pioneered nylon recycling technology, and that takes nylon 6 from lots of different sources. And we're able to turn that with Aquafil into yarn that ends up in our product.
If you have the chance to choose and you have the possibility, you certainly prefer to buy a product that is good for the environment. We are trying to transform garbage into beautiful products. We, of course, are the ingredient manufacturer, but on the other side, there is the duty to create beautiful products in a sustainable way.
I'm excited to see over time more fishing nets from this social source, more fishing nets from poor communities all over the world, feeding into this huge industrial process. And hopefully over time we can grow that social component part. Right now it's only small, but this is just the beginning.
Networks is an example, one small example of us setting a vision out there and asking people to help create that loop. The truth is that, of course, we are inspired by the ocean, and the ocean is blue. But in fact, when you think about nature, the fact is that the large expanses in the natural environment are in fact blue, both the sky and the water. We also have multiple blues within, so that you can mix and match not only shape, but depth of shade, not unlike the blue sky or the blue ocean. And I think in a broad way that we've really thought hard about bringing this collection forward and all the good work behind it. The program itself is what design's all about. It's hopeful, it's magical, it's participatory, and it'll change the world.